Next up, we have 4.02, and this is the Westerville City School Coach Advisory Guidebook. Welcome, Ms. Yanni.
Hi, thank you very much for having me here tonight. Ready to present about our Coach Advisor Guidebook and just kind of show a little bit about what we provide to our coaches. This is available for all of our staff members through our bookmarks. Tim Stifler was able to do that, but this is what we make sure that all of our coaches have. Which way do I point it, Brent? Did you do that? Okay. So the first place, if somebody is interested in coaching on a team, the positions are posted in Frontline. Those are available for anybody to apply to. And when somebody interviews and they go through that interview process with our athletic directors as well as our principals, then one of the things that they will receive if they feel like they're a valuable candidate is a guide, the guidebook code, as well as the coach's tool chest is something that we provide for all of our coaches and advisors, and they'll get their code for that. It is a yearly professional development that has all of the different pieces that will help that coach or advisor receive some of the certifications that they need. So we made sure that both of those were on that same sheet so that they have this available right to them from the get-go so they can learn what is expected of them. Which one? Turning it on is always phenomenal. This way? Got it. Or maybe not. Brent? Did you turn it on? Yeah. The green light.
I think the battery dead. I don't see a green light.
No, maybe.
I think the battery died.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Did she do that? I didn't do this.
We're here to learn about the guidebook. Test it. Nice. I appreciate you all. Thank you, tech support. Some of the different pages we will walk through today, but this is a guidebook for all of our coaches across all of our 8 schools, and our athletic directors from those 8 schools where our kids participate did all have input in all of these different pieces that we'll go through. It's all there on the side, but we're going to highlight a handful of those for you. The first one is those resources and expectations about what is expected for our coaches. Every coach needs to have a pupil activity permit, and as well as making sure that they do the yearly training. And so those things are highlighted there, and those are all pop-outs that will come that are part of our site. We want to make sure that they understand that not only they're representing, us, their school, but they're also representing the Ohio Capital Conference as well as the Ohio High School Athletic Association. There are many rules that we need to follow and make sure that we are in line with. One of the things we like to point out for our coaches is the fact that we are a multi-high school district, and there's lots of rules that go with that, including who's going to go where and when can you talk to an 8th grade student. So all of those things are laid out. You can see that huge flow chart there. That's all part of that process. We want to make sure that they understand supervision, security, and safety. So what is expected of them before, during, and after practice. Kids are our responsibility, and we want to make sure that we're keeping everyone safe. So we need to make sure that we're very clear about what the expectation is. Another thing that's highlighted is all of the communication that goes into being a coach. First, you've got the communication between yourself and the athletic department. Then you've also got all of the logistics that go together with having a team, whether it's transportation, what your general needs are for your team, working with our athletic trainers through Ohio Health, as well as all of the families and final forms, because all of those things need to be filled out. You have to have some kind of team communication. Right now, our teams are using final forms. They're using Remind. You can use an app with the adults only, but you should not be using an app with students. And so just making sure that all of those things are clear. Family rosters need to be going to the athletic secretaries or secretaries at the buildings. You have to have team expectations, and we use our positive behavior intervention and supports to make sure that we're building some of those team expectations and have examples of those. We want people to share with everyone, how do you letter when you're in varsity? What does that mean? Sometimes coaches also have to update their scores, and then all the way up to, how do I get this kid to make sure that they have college signing? So all of those different pieces of communication could all be part of what our coaches are doing. We have a lot of district processes that we want to make sure are clear, and we're trying to build more and more consistency. If you can imagine, with 3 different high schools all running, there's a lot of different coaches that are trying to maybe do it their own way, but we still want to make sure that we're doing it the Westerville way. Some of those examples are from our Treasury's Department, as well as like our PE waivers. Our Treasury's Department, if you don't have a purchase order, you're not going to get what it is that you want. And so that is part of what we share with our coaches, as well as if families are interested in using a PE waiver when they're in a high school sport, this is the way that they do that. And this was a change. And this was a change for the coaches as well as for our families. So we made sure that this was very clear. We shared this with our families as well as we shared it with our coaches, so that if a kid came up to them, how is it that I get a PE waiver? It was clear for everyone. And that's through Power School now. We want to make sure that they understand that there are handbooks that students have to follow. It's not just the rules of their team, but is our school rules, our school expectations, as well as our code of conduct for extracurricular expectations. So you are representing more when you're wearing a uniform, and so we want to make sure that that is very clear. They have to understand all of those specific policies. For an end of a season, we want to make sure that our coaches know that we do survey our students, we survey our families, as well as they will go through an end-of-year evaluation. They can see all of those different questions that are asked of them and all of those expectations prior to those end-of-year items happening. Those are conversations that athletic directors have, as well as administrators have, with their coaches. Some of the feedback that we've received from those surveys are what highlight in our Chalk Talk newsletters. So yes, we've got this website that is available for them at all times, but then bi-weekly we put out a Chalk Talk newsletter that highlights character. It highlights building community, so culture on your team, being positive, finding our Westerville way, as well as that communication piece. All of those are different things that we've gotten feedback from our families as well as our students that we need to improve in. Not on every team, but enough that it needs to be highlighted. Finally, we have our We Are the Ville Award. It is our sportsmanship award that we want to make sure our coaches are thinking about sportsmanship throughout our seasons. And they have a nomination form that will go to them each season. And there is a student from a middle school and a student from a high school that is highlighted here at one of our board meetings. And so that is highlighted as well. And finally, before we go, we've got some upcoming news that we are going to be working with Coach Beyond through the Ohio State University, our mental health team, as well as some of our coaches and athletic directors and students from each one of our high schools. We're going to be meeting with Coach Beyond, and our We Are the Ville activities that we have done before are going to be happening in November, and we're really excited about that partnership that we've got with Coach Beyond as well. Any questions?
Could you just explain a little bit what Coach Beyond is?
Yeah. So they are a group that's formed mostly from social workers and mental health specialists about how the way that we work with our students and the culture that we build on our team, we want to make sure that they're making great lifelong choices. And it is phenomenal work. They've done a lot of mental health work with Ohio High School Athletic Association, and they've done some work with some of our coaches already in the district, and we're just going to expand it further. We've got 2 classes that they're going to be running at our Westerville Educator Day, and then we're going to be working with our students as well as the coaches in this November event.
And so is the We Are the Ville event being moved to November instead of the summer? Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So we'll be focusing with our athletes up until then at our high schools independently, and then they'll all come together. We're going to have that hopefully here and make that event happen.
Thank you. I just have one last question. I think you talked a lot about the high schools, but this also applies to the middle schools as well.
Yes.
And I know it showed it at the beginning, but I think it's just important to know that the coaches also have this for middle school, and that the students are required to also sign both the handbook and the code of conduct too.
Yes, that's all part of final forms. It's all part of their power school that they do for the beginning of their school year, is making sure that you understand your expectations. But then it's also in final forms, understanding that there's high school expectations as well as our school expectations.
Thank you. This is really great. I know you've been working on this and put it together last year, so thank you for all this work.
For sure.
Thank you so much. I just had a question regarding the surveys. When did we start surveying students and families?
We started that 2 years ago, and we do it each season. It will come out after the state finalists. So anybody that could possibly be going to state, all of the seasons are closed. And so we send it out to middle school as well as high school, and it goes through Final Forms. Final Forms has a student account as well as an adult account that is linked up to that specific student. It is an anonymous survey, so we're just getting feel of, okay, what are some of the trends that we are seeing for our different teams?
Thank you so much. Very informative. It feels a little bit weird to be bringing this up, but to future cast a little bit, name, image, likeness, and how it is impacting our seniors who will be going out possibly to work in that world. What are we doing to educate both coaches and students on sort of their rights around name, image, likeness, and their privacy and that balance?
That is something that some of the school counselors have talked to our kids about, as well as some of the athletic directors. So it is not something that we have broached as much as we can, but you're right, is definitely on the forecast of things to come.
It's just going to be a short time till we have to
Yes.
talk about that.
Thank you so much. I know this is a ton of work. We've been talking about having this consistency here for a long time. And, from what I can tell, what is in this handbook is, I'll just make up a percentage, 60% of it actually applies to other extracurriculars, right?
Yes.
So is there a vision in the future where there is a similar handbook for all the extracurriculars?
Well, this is available for absolutely anybody. I know I do focus on the coaching side of it because we did make this with athletic directors, but you're right. It bleeds into almost every single one of our extracurriculars because you're all part of a team. Whether that is you're part of the theater team, you're part of the band team, you're part of the marching band team, you're all part of a team. And actually our choirs and our bands are our largest teams that we have. So it could apply to all of those different pieces. The band directors do have likenesses within some of their guidebooks, but it's not all on the same page yet, but that is definitely something for future.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
know a lot of work's gone into that.